ramble.
All right.
Okay, so we don't know how we're gonna do this ramble. I guess we're just gonna talk about something.
I think let's start with this. We both watched some things that we didn't go the full episode so far with.
Okay, yeah.
Do you want to break some of those down?
Dishonorable mentions.
And not that we're shitting on, just that it didn't do it for us.
Yeah.
I feel like I've got more than you.
Yeah, I'll go first. I checked out Girly Air Force.
How'd you feel about that? Give me the quick pitch, Roger.
So we start off and we're on a boat. Mm-hmm. Boats and hoes, dude.
Don't break down the whole episode. Quick pitch.
We start out on a boat. The people are fleeing from China because there is some sort of enemy called the Z or G.
What are the aliens?
I
don't know, something.
I don't know. I didn't get too far to really figure out what they were.
They
XI.
XI?
Mm-hmm.
The Z's?
Yeah, G. I don't know. It's said a little weird in there. But they're aircraft or whatever. They're blowing up cities. They're destroying life or whatever. People are fleeing from them. One of them comes to attack the boat. A jet fighter flies in. It's destroying all the other jets. A glowing pink one flies in
saves the day,
and then crashes and burns into the water. Our main character swims over to it because his parents were pilots, and they were killed by the Z as well.
And he wants to save this person.
Yeah, and so he goes in there and
pops the hood.
He pops the hood.
What's in there?
Pulls her out. It's a pink-haired girl. Lovely young lady.
Ooh, dang.
First thing she does is kisses him right on the mouth.
Give him the old Starfire.
Yeah. So flash forward, they've made it to Japan, where they're going to be residing until their home is rebuilt or they find new lives. And he's trying to find out more about this airplane. He wants to know more about it. He gets pulled into... He sees the airplane going down a street, so he starts following on his bike. His cousin that is with him for the whole time... Both of them make it to an Air Force base where they are abducted and brought onto the base. And they proceed to telling the kid that they're going to shoot him or whatever if he doesn't tell them what he knows about the aircraft. But the swerve is that it's just they're never actually going to harm him. The aircraft reacted to him that it hadn't ever reacted to anyone before, and it's considered sort of a defective aircraft because it doesn't get the same results that the other aircraft of similar style get. And so the kid befriends the pilot in there.
The pink hair girl.
Yeah, and it just goes through slice of life kind of.
So like, is the whole thing like they're threatening this guy because that's what makes the airplane freak out because the girl is trying to protect him? Is that what you're telling me?
I don't know if it goes that far. I made it to the third episode, and it was kind of losing me because.
What didn't you like about it, man?
It just wasn't. It didn't hook me. It felt very. Like it almost, I don't want to say that they didn't try or anything like that.
It's just kind of standard fare.
Yeah,
like
it was very standard.
Really,
there was nothing
really stood out to
It's nothing that I couldn't see.
Sure.
Any given moment, I can tell you that something similar happened in a better way in a better anime.
Okay.
And on top of that, the whole military. I do like some military anime and stuff like that. This one is using like actual military bases and stuff like that. Feels kind of over the top. It's not fictional. These aren't covert organizations designed for the anime.
Covert.
Yeah.
All right.
Like Mithril.
I know. What I've always heard covert. I've never heard covert. I've never heard covert.
I think you say it either way. Maybe not. It might be covert.
All right. How do you say Minotaur, bud?
Minotaur.
You liar. I've heard you say monitor so many times.
I say it either way, dude.
Wow.
It fluctuates. That's how my brain works, and I'm sorry that it works that way.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you can't accept the way that my brain works. I wish it worked a little bit better, too.
You're really flipping the pronunciation here,
dude.
bud. Okay, yeah. Now I'm the asshole.
Yeah, you are kind of making fun of my mental dyslexia,
That's
dude.
not at all. Okay. Dick.
Wow. But it feels...
It didn't hit it for you.
Yeah, it just feels... very bland and very, very like, it's just a pro-military show at the end of the day with a little love story and a guy that's going to be surely in a harem of women by the end of it. So yeah, it wasn't my thing, dude.
All right.
What you got? You want to tell me one that you didn't like?
I got one I got through 3 episodes of. Kind of a similar thing. It involves a bunch of young ladies flying planes and shit. It was called The Magnificent Kotobuki.
A lot of people actually do like this
I
one.
couldn't get into it, bud, because like the whole quick pitch. There's a company. They're like a kind of like a. So basically, we're in a world where like zeppelins and planes are like still a thing. We're talking like biplanes and shit. Like, well, not even biplanes, but like World War II era shit. Like, you know, planes flying around. They got propellers. They got machine guns to shoot them, and blah blah blah. So basically, there's this group called I believe they are called Kotobuki. Which are like, they basically get hired to like, you know, help transport stuff, security kind of thing. They fly around, they take out air pirates who are attacking or whatever. And that's basically their whole deal. And that's what you got. So you got this crew of young ladies who are flying the planes. There's, you know, this one who's like real fiery, and, you know, oh, she's kind of the main one, and she's like real good. She's real flying, but she's kind of cocky. But then there's like this one who's like kind of the leader, very stern, very serious. Ooh, and there's this one who's very quiet but very smart, and always like kind of, you know, throws in a little blah blah blah, like correcting people and shit. Mm-hmm. And then there's this one who's like the really young one, who's inexperienced but very good, and they kind of butt heads with the fiery one, and blah blah blah, and etc. etc. All these characters, they're all very tropey. They're all very. I hesitate, and yet I'm going to call them cookie cutter. It's very. They're all like kind of just very obvious, different interpretations of these characters, and the thing that got me about it is kind of like what you said. It just didn't hook me. I found it very hard to like give a shit about any of them, like by the third episode, and I was kind of like out of it. The thing that really got me about it, and I know that I've been reading about how some people are into this, I can't get with it at all, is how it constantly jumps from the 2D and the 3D. It is CG, and then it's like 2D animation. And I'm talking at times in the same shot, this character CG, this character's 2D. And those moments are not so bad because it's interesting the way they interact and how they marry those styles. But then there's other bits where like, these people are in the restaurant. They're all CG animated, eating their food and having a conversation. And the banter in the show is actually decent when they're just talking to each other. It's not bad. The action scenes are pretty good. I just don't give a shit about dogfights. But like that scene in particular.
Dogfights like plane fighting.
Yes,
by the way,
plane fights like dogfights. Yeah, flying.
I'm sure most people know that. Just to clear.
You know, Star Fox. But like, so that scene in particular, they're in the restaurant. They're all CG. They're all eating and talking. They hear a ruckus outside. It cuts to outside. You see this character who is part of their crew, 2D animated, getting into a fight with some guys outside. And then it cuts back inside. They're all CG. Hey, what's going on out there? Let's go check it out. They go outside, cuts back to them being CG or 2D out there fighting. And then the other crew who were just inside in CG walk out and they're all 2D. And I'm like, what the fuck? It's jarring. It's so hard for me to get a handle on. And that's probably the thing that I couldn't deal with the most. But other than that, I just found it really hard to like, it didn't give me I obviously like the only.
You weren't bonding to anything.
I wasn't bonding with the characters because they just felt like tropes. They didn't feel like characters. They felt like this one's the mean one, this one's the nice one, this one's that one, and whatever. And it was like they don't have any personality besides these like very obvious character developments. They were very two-dimensional, and I just couldn't get into it. So if you loved it, let me know. But I didn't care for it very much. I couldn't get into it. You got another one for us?
Yeah, I got one to talk about. This one isn't so much that I've given up on. It's that you mentioned it earlier. I'm waiting for it to finish.
Oh yeah.
Boogie Pop and Others.
Okay.
So whenever I went into this, I do have at the very end of the bookshelf over there, I have the original Boogie Pop anime, which was a fun watch. It is very confusing. It's very much like if you're a fan of Serial Experience Lane and some weirder stuff like that, you might be more into this.
I've heard this one be described as like, because it's all out of sequence and stuff. Yes. It's like you're playing detective and figuring out what happened as they give you pieces of it.
Yes, and the problem with that though, on a weekly basis, is that it's easy to forget shit.
So you got to like sit down and binge it, is what you're saying.
Yes, and that's kind of what I'm wanting to do, because I watched the first 3 episodes, and I got, by the time that third week rolled around, I was like, I don't remember who all these characters are. I've
been watching too much Domestic Girlfriend.
Yeah, it was melting my brain trying to piece everything together and remember who everybody was. And with the already naturally kind of confusing nature of the show. Yeah. It definitely was. Confusing is a good word for it.
I can see how that would be a real bummer.
Yeah. So I have faith that the show itself is going to be good. And I've actually seen people saying that it is good. Mm-hmm. I am not going to watch that until I think I know the 13th episode is out. I don't know if that's going to be the last episode or not. I'll wait and see for a week or so if they put anything else up for it, and if they don't, then I'm gonna hop into it and try to figure out there.
So that's
if I can sit down 2 nights and watch 6 episodes or 7 episodes in one night, 6 episodes in another, or even 4 a night or something like that, it's going to be much more manageable than watching one episode, being very confused in that one episode, going to the next week,
Be like,
watching the
"What?"
next episode, and trying to relate what you remember from the already confusing first episode into that one, and then a third one. It just keeps piling on, dude. It's a snowball effect of confusion.
The way you're describing it is very fascinating to me because it sounds like it's the kind of thing that like if we wait for it to be all the way out, like if you were watching it an episode every week, you might get to the end of it and be like, I couldn't deal with it. It was weird and I didn't like it. Whereas if I waited for it to be all the way out and then binged it all at once, I might say, dude, it's fucking rad.
Yeah.
That's really interesting to me how you like just depending on how you're watching it, it could drastically vary your
Yeah. And I think, and maybe, you know, I'm sure there are plenty of very intelligent people out there that remember everything. They remember every character.
And they're not watching
every
Domestic
name.
Girlfriend. That is not a show for smart people.
You know what? Yes, it is. That show is beautiful. That show is so beautiful, man.
Oh no.
It makes me feel things that I didn't know I could feel.
Like your dick getting hard?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Like I'm about to flick this bean, son.
Oh no. You're a
we'll talk
monster.
about that later.
God, you're a monster.
But Boogie Pop and Others is like visually, I didn't think it was anything super impressive. I definitely didn't think the first one was anything super impressive. However, you know, it is strange enough to be something really interesting if you have in my mind the ability to watch it all at once.
Yeah, I remember reading a thing that was like talking about how the first episode like shows you how this thing begins. Like there's gonna be this story and it starts like this, and you're like, oh, what's going
they're
on?
like
Ooh, what's gonna
manticores
happen? And then it cuts to the end, and you just see the end of it, the resolution, and then you get pieces in the middle to try and figure out what the fuck was happening.
Yeah.
Which is,
And it does,
I don't know if I could deal with that.
And the biggest thing with it is that you have to have like people that read the manga and stuff that know that that's how it is, because it just drops you in there and you get none of that. You don't you don't decipher that there's something to decipher. If that makes sense.
Yeah, you don't know ahead of
you
time
can't
that's what's gonna happen.
comprehend,
You got to
yeah, that
get through
you're-
those first few and then be like, okay, now I know what to expect for the next 3.
Yeah,
Like,
now I can start piecing stuff together because I know that I am supposed to piece stuff together.
that feels like it would be infuriating. I don't know if I could get
That's
with
why,
that.
dude. I mean, I was just like, I'm gonna let this one go until it's done.
I gotcha.
I'm, you know,
That makes a lot of sense.
I liked the original, and I was super pumped about this one, but it was just something that I had to keep swimming. You know,
Just keep swimming.
just keep swimming, Dory.
This guy,
I'll come back to you.
mercy.
What you got, dude? You got any other dishonorable dismentions?
I can
Dishonorable
talk about another one.
dismentions?
Here's another one that I talked about a while ago. Got through my 3 episodes, couldn't stick with it. Magic Girl Spec Ops Asuka, which, quick pitch, it's a magical girl show that's very militaristic. Magic girls were literally, conscripted by the military to fight off this demon threat. They actually only exist because there was a demon threat to the real world. These creepy demon things, which all look like kind of cutesy teddy bears and shit, but like really fucked up one, like if you ever seen that Muse video with the teddy bear who's like got the sharp teeth and shit, he's like that shit. It's creepy but cute. It's very disturbing at some points, but the humans then get help from people from the fairy world or whatever, who turn some people into magical girls, and they have superpowers, and then they go off and beat them. All that's resolved now. This is after that, and our main character Asuka is one of those magical girls who's now just trying to live a normal life. And the main reason I couldn't get through this, there's 2 reasons. One, there's a decent amount of there's a fair bit, as with anything that's going to have magical girls in it, there's a decent amount of the fan servicey stuff, which I'm just not into. I never have been. But the real reason that I couldn't stick with this one is I can't tell if they're serious. There's so many moments where our girl Asuka, right? She like is walking down the street and she sees someone in a big, like, a kitty costume, like a mascot, handing a little girl a balloon, and she has a straight up Jacob's Ladder style, like PTSD shell shock flashback of like this thing like tearing into the little girl and killing her, and then like she cuts back and back to reality and realizes, oh, it's fine, it's nothing.
Back to reality.
Oops, there goes gravity. Yeah. But yeah, it's and like that, and then there's a bit where like one of the guys, like there's a new threat happening. There's some kind of organization or something that's plotting some kind of horrible stuff and terrorism and whatever else, using dead pieces of these demons to then like resurrect them and do crazy
Sounds
shit.
very edgy, dude.
Yeah, and like so like this guy comes to her and she's like, we need you back, we need your help and blah blah blah, and she's like, I always said I was done killing after middle school. I'm like, are you serious? I can't tell if it's serious. I was done killing after middle school. I said I'd never kill again. What is this? I can't tell. And like there's so many parts
It
where
sounds like
I found myself just laughing at it and like, wait, am I supposed to be laughing at it?
it sounds like a failed Gunslinger Girl almost.
It's
I don't know if you've
man.
ever seen Gunslinger Girl or not.
I saw parts of it.
I'm
familiar.
that one is quite a bit more serious, and it's not laughable. These children are trained to be killers, and that's what they are. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this, that just sounds fucking ridiculous.
It's really weird. Like there's
I'm gonna slaughter some demons as long as I'm home by Din Din.
There's a bit where you have a flashback where she comes home and she's trying to find her parents, and these two little demons. This is a flashback to when the demons were still around and causing terror. And there's these two little demons. They look like cute little teddy bears, and they talk squeaky voice like this. Hey, how's it going? How's it good? Blah blah. And she's like, what are you doing here? And she like whips out her knife, because that's like her magical girl weapon is a straight up. It's one of those like tactical knives where like you hold it and then the blade like curves around your knuckles. It looks ridiculous, like a scythe knife. And she's like, what's happening? Where are my parents? And the little demon guys, they're so cute, little teddy bears. They're like, oh, we'll give them back one piece at a time. And then they disappear, and there's just a box, and she opens the box, and there's a severed hand in it. You can't have Pooh Bear threatening and murdering my parents. What do you think that means?
The show sounds so freaking ridiculous.
It's weird,
dude.
man. And like, if any of that sounds like you might be into it, please watch it. If you can get further than 3 episodes, tell me if it's worth watching, because I couldn't really. It just felt really weird.
It feels like it is hard to figure out where you're supposed to draw the line on this one.
Yeah, I really
what
don't
is
know,
it
man.
supposed to be?
I had trouble
I haven't
getting
checked
more
it out,
into
so
it.
every time you've explained it, especially now, like I am more curious about it.
By all
but
means,
I don't
take a shot, dude.
I don't know that I'll be taking a shot anytime soon at it. It's not high on my radar, but
It's just it couldn't, it didn't, it wasn't, it's not, I can't even talk. I don't think it's gonna be I don't think it's going to be big enough that I'm going to feel bad about missing out. I don't think this is going to be on anybody's like top 10 of the year list. So I'm totally cool with skipping out on it. But if the end of the year rolls around and someone's like, turns out this show was really cool, I'm going to watch the rest of it. But man, it's hard. I couldn't, no. It's hard. I couldn't, no. That's the good buddy Brandon guarantee. It's hard. I couldn't, no. All right. You got anything else for us?
I don't have any more dishonorable mentions. I think almost everything else that I watch I like. So
yeah, most of the rest of it. I got one I can talk about. I told you about it earlier. That I'm up to 6 episodes of it because I wanted to get through this one. So I went my 3 in, and it intrigued me enough that I kept going. Let me just talk about this real quick. This
one is not a dishonorable mention.
I don't know. I'm very on the fence. I'm very, very on the fence.
So this is just, what have you been watching?
Yes, this is what have you been watching. And I slammed through the first 6 episodes over the last couple of days because I was like, I want to talk about a thing. So it's called The Price of Smiles. And this one might be the swerve of the year. I don't know. It's a big old swerve on this one because it starts out, there's this kingdom, which I don't have it pulled up. I don't know the name of the kingdom. I'm sorry. What the hell is on that? Oh, it's a forum. But there's this kingdom. First of all, this is the future you see all these people. They are humans. They are living on a planet that is not Earth because I guess Earth was abandoned. You get a little bit of stuff like we know that Earth existed in this universe and that their ancestors lived there. There's a bit where like they have a simulation thing or whatever, and they're like, oh yes, this was Tokyo, a city of our ancestors or whatever on the old planet. It's like, okay, cool. This is like several hundred years in the future or whatever. So the whole thing is there's this kingdom. It is a monarchy. The king and queen are dead. They left a little baby daughter who was Yuki. She survived. Whatever happened, you find out.
Heir to the throne.
Yes. She was a little bitty baby when they died, though, so they've just been without a proper ruler for so long. She is now 12 years old, which is apparently old enough to run shit. And the whole thing starts with like kind of her coronation. She's like, I'm Princess Yuki, and I'm going to make sure everybody's happy and smiles. The price of smiles. What does a smile cost, Roger? What would you pay for a smile?
Somebody pay me $5, I would smile.
Wow. So we've got Princess Yuki. We've got this kid who's like 3 years old and he's like 15, who's like one of the members of her royal guard. His name's Joshua, and this guy's like typical anime protagonist. I mean, he's got the spiky blonde hair with the Edward Elric braid down one shoulder. He just looks real cool. He's got a catchphrase. He says passion and will. He's like, I'm gonna defend Princess Yuki with passion and will. And like the other characters, like you meet these other characters who were also in the military or whatever, and like they're twins. They're the Vanquish twins. Their last name is Vanquish. And they're like, man, I wish you wouldn't yell that passion will shit into the fucking comm. It's really annoying. You give me a headache. It's like they actually call him on it, which is hilarious, but he still does it. Anyway, the whole show, you see a little bit of combat. They have these big mech things that they fight in. And like the first episode, there's like a training thing where he's like in a simulation and he's fighting. It's like, okay, well, I guess like you have no reason to believe they ever use these things because they kind of just show, you know, here's the princess, everything's cool. We know there's a neighboring kingdom. She actually talks about, oh, it's an empire. She's like, oh, we should send them food. I know their soil isn't great. I got a bunch of stuff for my coronation, like, you know, presents and gifts and food and whatnot, tribute as it were. Let's send them some. I'd really like that. Blah blah blah. I want to make friends. We, you know, they're our neighbors. We need to be nice neighbors. Okay, that's the first episode. It ends with our boy Joshua going off on like they tell him it's some kind of trip to this other country or whatever, like an embassy thing. Okay, that's what you get. Yuki, you find out, hasn't left the city in a long time. That's what you get. And that's that. And now we're going to get spoiler territory.
Okay.
The end of that first episode, Joshua was on this ship, and they're like, well, we're approaching the place, Captain, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, what's going on? They're like, we'll take a look. And they show, you just see what looks like a desert with robots and shit shooting at each other, and like we're at the front line. Turns out they're at war with this other country. Nobody knows it. Yuki doesn't know it. Everybody else knows it. She doesn't know because they're trying to keep her, you know, protect her. Like they don't want her to freak out. They're straight up at war. Okay, episode 2, Joshua's on the front lines. He's battling. They're doing battle in these big robots and shit. And they're going at it. He does some heroic stuff. He like, you know, gets pulled out. He's like bleeding a little bit, but he's like, I didn't die yet. Oh, this is great. I'm coming home, Yuki, whatever. And like, that's great. End of episode 2, he's fucking dead. He just straight up is dead.
Wow.
And then it pulls a Legend of the Galactic Heroes, and episode 3 is about this crew on the other side. Particularly, there's one girl who's in the intro and stuff, so obviously she's going to be important. Or maybe she won't, because Joshua was in the intro too, and he fucking died in episode 2. So I don't know, Roger, but she's apparently important. Her name is Stella. And from some of the stuff they've showed you in the episode, she might actually be from this other kingdom and somehow ended up over there fighting against them. I don't know, man. But the thing that, the reason I'm so on the fence with this one is that's a story that could be very good. There could be a lot there that works out. There's a lot going on so far in these first 6 episodes. There's 2 more out. I'm probably going to watch those later to at least get a little bit more of a feel for it. I don't know. This has a potential to be an amazing show. The thing that I can't really get with it is how fucking cutesy some of these characters are. Yuki, for example, is just a straight up moe 12-year-old, you know, dream.
Must protect.
Yeah, she's one of them. And like, not even like, she's just a fucking sugar cube. Like, she's too damn sweet. And she's dealing with some pretty heavy stuff. She finds out about the war and everything. That second episode, when you find out he's dead, it's because they went to visit him. And, like, as she's going in, the guy comes out and he's like, I'm sorry, just now and she walks in and just freaks out because he's laying there dead. It's crazy. Okay. yeah, I don't know, man. And like some of the stuff, like the other side with our girl Stella and her whole crew, like she appears to be maybe 16, 17. She's like slightly older than all the other characters we've seen in the other place. There's another person on her crew who looks like she's goddamn 12. Like, why is this 12-year-old in the fucking army? Also, why is her outfit, like they all wear these same like, you know, Solid Snake skin suit kind of things because they're military or whatever, and like, you know, they're special ops, and they're all like super skin tight with like, you know, pouches and shit to carry shit and like, you know, blue lights on them because it's the future. But hers, because she's small and younger and a girl, has a skirt on it. Why does it have a skirt? This doesn't even make sense. Like it's like, so there are times when it's incredibly violent. You see the girl with a skirt shoulder flip a dude and then slit his throat. They infiltrate a building and straight up cap dudes in the head, blood everywhere. And then it's like, oh, but look how cute she is. What? I don't know how to feel. It's giving me the Magical Girl Spec Ops Asuka vibes. I don't know, man. I don't know. But it's like, why is it so cute and yet straight up, oh no, our homeland is being invaded. Like, it's so serious. Like, fuck. I don't know, man. I'm really on the fence with this one. This might be the best show ever. It might be a pile of garbage. I'll find out in 4 more episodes, I guess.
Nice, man. I might have to check that one out.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's if nothing else, it's interesting. So yeah, this one I'm probably gonna go the distance with this one just to see what the fuck else is up. I don't know.
Nice.
It's wild.
Yeah. Well, let's
write it on down.
Let's take it to a more positive note, dude. Did you see that that Detective Pikachu trailer?
I did.
What'd you think about it, dude?
He says hell. Which people, I told you, people are like, oh man, Pikachu said a swear. I'm more concerned that the concept of hell exists in Pokemon. There's a Pokemon hell. Is it run by a Darkrai? What is it? What's going on down there? Like, who's the Pokemon Satan? I know there's a Pokemon
and what's going
God.
on with all the purple gleams in the Pokemon eyes? You
There's
know that?
I mean, okay, so the obvious answer is they're being controlled
Mind
or some
controlled?
shit.
Yeah.
I think the very obvious thing, potential spoilers, I guess, if I'm right. So skip ahead 10 seconds here. 1, 2, 3, go.
Can't be a spoiler if it's just
My dude, that
speculation.
Pikachu is obviously the kid's dad. It woke up on a bridge wearing his hat. The hat has the guy's name in it.
Oh, dude, just blew my mind.
They build him. They just build him. They gave him the build treatment. He got turned into a Pokemon. It's not the first time it's ever happened in any of these series. It happens in most of the games, in fact. Not most of them, several.
Wow, you just blew my mind. I didn't see that coming.
Anyway.
I'm excited, dude. I mean, the movie still looks really weird.
It looks pretty good.
We got a few more weird shots of Pokemon.
I saw a Mewtwo.
Yeah, a nice little slick looking Mewtwo.
Yeah.
But man, it looks pretty great, dude. I'm still super excited for it.
Yeah, man.
And it looks funny.
I definitely want to see it. It looks fun.
It looks pretty funny. Especially whenever when Pikachu is Detective Pikachu is getting into the cage with the Charizard.
He says, "Get me the hell out of here."
Yeah,
it's great.
First he's like, "I've handled this big lug before," or whatever.
And he's like, "Get me the hell out of here!" He just freaks out. Okay. If there's a Pokemon hell and we know there's a Pokemon God, is there a Pokemon Satan and a Pokemon Jesus?
I mean, Arceus, dude.
Arceus is Pokemon God. I know that. Who's Pokemon Satan?
Groudon.
Groudon. No.
Dude, have they made a devil-esque Pokemon?
I mean, Darkrai is the closest I can think of. Maybe Giratina's like a time travel thing. I don't know what's up with that. Yeah. It's like a weird worm. I don't know.
Deoxys? No, he's like science.
He's an alien.
Yeah,
Deoxys is a straight up alien. He came to Earth on an asteroid. It's probably Darkrai.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it would have to be Darkrai, wouldn't it?
I don't know.
He's a legendary. He's legendary.
I need to know who Pokemon Jesus is. And why is it Victini? You see Victini up on a tiny cross. No, that's terrible.
No.
That's terrible.
You monster.
That's so fucked up. It's distressing to me, the concept of hell existing in Pokemon. We already know there's a Pokemon God. I don't know, man. It's weird. Anyway, I've talked too much about this. It's gotten a little sacrilegious.
How are you feeling about Sword and Shield? We got those announced.
It looks good. I really want to play them Pokemons.
I thought they were pretty. I thought the overall look of it was pretty detailed.
Yeah, I really want to play them Pokemons.
It felt like Pokemon, but on a console.
Which start are you going with, man?
Sobble, dude.
Well, obviously, I'm going the grass one then.
You know, a lot of people were upset too because they were expecting like Breath of the Wild Pokemon. Like, they had their expectations so goddamn high.
I don't know what do you mean Breath of the Wild Pokemon?
Like,
what do you think
like
that
a
means?
Breath of the Wild open world-esque Pokemon.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know.
Well, hey,
You can't prove to me that's not what it is right now.
People despise the idea of changing Pokemon, but the same damn people get upset whenever, Let's Go Pikachu
Are they the
comes
same
out.
damn people? Have you seen the same person make these comments?
No, I haven't.
Well,
This
so
is speculation.
don't say the same damn people. There's so many people in the world.
I can speculate.
I don't know what you're telling me. I don't know.
I can see commenters on YouTube.
Well, but
and
you're
the
saying
Twitters.
the same damn people. That's not speculating. You're stating you're making a statement.
All right. Well, it's my statement.
An
and
unfounded
I hold to it.
statement.
Yeah, it's unfounded, but I feel like
Bad
it's
guy.
true. It's not bad, dude, to have a feeling. You can't call having a feeling bad.
Well, okay, but that wasn't a feeling. You said these same damn people. You were
Yeah,
making
the
a
same
statement.
damn people.
All
They
right.
complain about one thing and then they switch straight over to the other one.
I mean, you do that shit.
Yeah, sure do.
You're a bad guy.
Yeah, I am.
Hypocrite.
I'm not going to say that I don't flip flop on things.
Fucking hypocrite.
I'm not
and
going
a
to say that I've
hippogriff.
never done anything hypocritical. That'd be foolish of me to do.
How very hypocritical of you.
I would. It would be a shame if I didn't, hold myself.
This
to,
guy's a damn hippogriff.
You're a griffin. You're a hepophiliolite.
What? What do you think that means, Roger? What do you think that means?
I don't know if it's a word. I thought I just made it up.
Hey, but what do you... Okay, define it. You made it up. Make up a definition.
It's like,
Come on, give it to me.
you're a person
Explain
with
your insult.
you're a person with the intellect of a hippopotamus, which is moderately a smart animal, but it's not a dolphin. You ain't a dolphin. You're a hippopotamus.
That's really mean.
Hippopotamus.
All right, I think I need to end the show. I can't.
I'm excited about that new Pokemon.
I'm gonna cry.
It looks good.
You just called me a hippo brain. That's fucked up.
You got a hippo brain,
I'm
dude.
gonna cry.
You got
Anyway.
that hippo brain, dude. You got that T-Rex brain, dude. It look like a golf ball rattling around in there. Ping ding ding ding.
You done?
Yeah, I'm
All
done. That was so mean.
Let's get to them plugs. My boy's a monster, and no, I don't know if I'm gonna be back next week.
Ping ding 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 ding.
It's terrible. You're a monster. You've called me an idiot on this show so many times. Now you're telling me I got a little pea brain.
Dude, for the amount of times that you called me out on some stuff that I didn't even need to be called out on, just put me on the spot.
Disagree. You deserved every one of them.
I didn't. All right.
Give me one. Give me one example that really hurt your feelings right now.
I don't hold grudges. I don't hold that shit, dude. I don't retain it.
So why do you think it's cool to just say that shit then? Because you're like,
Say what
the
shit?
amount of times you called me out for shit. Name one.
Say what shit?
Name one.
I
Name
already
one
forgot.
time. All right then.
I let it go.
So why are you still calling me an idiot? Why are you calling me a
I didn't call you an idiot, dude.
You called me an idiot so many
you
times.
need to learn to let things go.
You're over here saying I got a pea brain
Brandon-
rattling around. You just went a ding, 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 ding. Like the fucking frog from the fucking song. Beep, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop. All right.
Why ain't you letting things go, dude? You need to learn to let things go.
You just told me my brain is rattling around up here.
You gotta let it go, dude.
That just happened.
I'm sorry. You gotta
right.
let it go.
Eat 1,000 dicks. Let's go to the... I see the bullshit I deal with.
You can let it go, man.
This guy's a monster. Anyway.
He's a monster, but god damn it, he's got the microphones.
What a dick. Anyway, let's go to the plugs.
right, let's plug 'em.
So if you wanna tell us how you felt about all that shit that just happened, or you have any recommendations, questions, etc., you can hit us up at our email. That's thegoodbuddiesanimepod.gmail.com.
There was that one time, dude. That one time.
Oh, I thought you didn't hang on and think, hey Roger, maybe you should let
okay,
it go.
I let it go.
All right. But beyond that, you also
Just
you
let
can
it
hit
go.
us up on the Twitter, TGB_anime pod. We have the Facebook group, The Good Buddies Universe. We have the Tumblr, which is mostly dead, thegoodbuddies.tumblr.com. And of course, you may be listening to and or watching this on YouTube at Rapid Kick Media. Leave us a comment, smash that like button, and tell us how you feel about it. You can of course leave comments and ratings anywhere that fine podcasts are sold, even
Leave
though we
us some
don't sell
nice
them.
questions in them comments.
Yeah, dude, do the thing. And give us those 5 stars because you know we need it. I crave them. I need the stars. I'm like Kirby. I'm like Kirby or Mario. Gotta have my stars. But yeah, anywhere you got your podcast, that's Apple Podcast, iTunes, you got Podbean, you got a Podcast Addict, Stitcher. We're not on Spotify because, fuck them. But beyond that, I think that's mostly it, right? For the regular plugs. All right. Beyond that, we do want to give a shout out to our good buddies Married with Sea Monsters, aka the Mary Janes, for the use of our opening theme song, Paper Doll. They are on Spotify, but that track, as well as so many others, is only available on marriedwithseamonsters.bandcamp.com. So check it out, download it, zip up, zip out, whip it out, do the thing.
Do what now?
You heard me.
Can you run back over that one more
You know
time?
what you need to do? Flick that bean.
You flick that bean.
All right. It's awful and terrible and it's bad. Not the action. Obviously, masturbation's perfectly normal and a thing that, it's also just weird to watch. Don't look at it. It was in a show. That's why we keep talking about it. Go watch The Last Domestic Girlfriend. Jesus, I can't believe that shit. Anyway, now that I'm done talking about masturbation, let me tell you about my good buddy Petty Theft.
A man that for sure masturbates.
Jesus Christ! Our good buddy Petty Theft. We want to thank him for the use of our closing theme, which we're still calling "Sweet Anime Dreams." You're not doing the. Yes. There it is. Our good buddy Petty Theft. That is how it's spelled. 2 P's at the beginning, 2 T's at the end. Petty Theft. Who you can find other Petty Theft.
Sorry, dude. I was
SoundCloud.
hung up on the masturbation.
Yeah, Jesus. On SoundCloud and on Twitter under Petty Theft. I said it 3 times because I want to make sure everyone knows about it. But that's about it for us. Roger, you got an outro for us? Is it gonna just be you screaming "Flick the bean"?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
All right. Well, take me there, my dude. Take me there. From all of us here at the Good Buddies Universe, I'm your good buddy, Brandon.
I'm your good buddy, Roger.
Bing, ding, 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 ding. You fucker.